Let us pray. Father God, Lord, we just come to you tonight, Father, first and foremost for our town and our townspeople, Father. Indeed, there are many needs, many requests within our town, Lord. And so, Lord God, we're asking you indeed, Lord, to open up the doors and windows of heaven, Father, and shower down blessings upon our town and our townspeople today, Father, that you'd move and minister in and on and through their lives, Father. Now we come to you, Father, for behalf of our council and our administrator, Father, Lord God, that you'd give them the wisdom and knowledge, Father, to be able to lead this town the way that you would have it to be led. Just be with them tonight, Father. Touch us tonight, Lord. Minister in and through our town tonight, Father. We give you the praise, glory, and honor for it all and through it all. In Jesus' name, and amen.
Amen. That was a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before I get started, there's a couple of mistakes that I made this last meeting. One was allowing a point of order from the floor. That's not what we abide by. We abide by Robert's rules, and that's not correct by Robert's rules. The other was I allowed someone to speak that was not a member of the town. That's what our ordinance said, but I went ahead and allowed that. Tonight, we will allow it again tonight. We will be discussing that ordinance later on. I did abide by that ordinance last time. So here we go. We'll have citizen comments right now. Mrs. Beverly Quinn.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on, but that's okay. I'm sure everyone can hear me. Thank you. I address you tonight under Section 2-58 of the Code of Ordinances, which provides that any citizen of the town may speak at a regular meeting on a matter pertaining to municipal services and operations. The ordinance does not define the word citizen. I am a taxpayer whose property lies within the municipal limits, and I pay municipal property taxes each year. That means I directly fund the services and operations of this town. To exclude taxpayers from the public comment would in effect be taxation without representation. That principle is in and of itself the foundation of democracy and not one that should be overlooked by this town governance. I ask that council clarify in writing how citizen is to be defined under Section 2-58 and that the definition include taxpayers with property inside the town limits. In addition, I think this should extend to business owners that operate within the town limits. If they hold a current business license issued by the town, they are contributing to the local economy and their voices are important as well. Finally, I want to note that after the August meeting, I submitted specific written questions regarding the status of the Wilson Crossing development. To date, I have not received any response. This lack of communication creates confusion and erodes public trust. I urge council to provide answers in writing so that taxpayers and citizens alike can understand the process and know what to expect moving forward. Thank you for your time and entering my comments into record. I also have a second written submission to be entered into the record of the minutes for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Need the approval of minutes of August 7th, 2025.
Motion to approve minutes of August 7th, 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the minutes of August 7th, 2025. Any discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Yeah? Department reports, y'all have those? You need to say anything, Patrick? Reports.
One thing I want to make sure that we discuss, something that just came up probably yesterday, or today, I'm sorry. Previously, I believe Councilmember Brackens had requested and council passed the approval of changing, or not changing, but West Main Street being designated as Pee Wee Lambert Boulevard. That was approved and passed by the State General Assembly with help from Representative Moss, who represents this district. I've recently received communication with DOT's Government Affairs, and the sign is ready for placement, and they would like to know if the town plans to do a ceremony. I imagine that the town would. We need to discuss location of where it needs to go, and when that date and time will be for the ceremony. If y'all would like, I can reach out to y'all individually if you'd like to discuss when that date and time will be. Also to be able to reach out to family as well, and to make sure that they can attend that. And if there's anybody else that you know of from the public who may want to be a part of that ceremony, to get that all lined up, and then we can set a date of when that would be.
All right. I personally think that it would be good to give the family a couple weeks' notice and try to do it like on, say, a Friday morning. And it wouldn't hurt to involve the press in it also. I think that's a recognition that is well-deserved from a founder of this community. So it's been a long time coming, so we don't have to rush it. We can plan it ahead so that as many people as possible can attend.
And just like what they'll end up having, if you remember the dedication ceremony that was had for the intersection of 150 and
176.
176, they'll also have a mini sign that'll be available to the family that they can display in their home as well.
Y'all need anybody else on that? Okay. Anything else you have, Patrick?
Where we at, right here? Are we on your,
On Administrator's Board, that's correct.
okay, yeah, on number 2, I have a question
Sure.
about the Station Park project.
Yes, ma'am.
It says that, we realized that there needed to be some changes, and we reached out to those that showed interest in the project. One of those that are on the project, and I was not notified. Is it?
No, the contractors. The contractors, we had sent out an RFP, and based on the RFP, and when the contractors came out, realized that there were some mistakes that were made in the RFP, or we needed to change some stuff up. And so those who are interested in bidding the project have been contacted to move forward with that project in a slightly different way.
Well, this is not how that read. Updated scaled back plan. I know I was in on a Zoom meeting, I think one time, so was Star, the council person and some citizens. And we all kind of looked over the plan and put our little ideas together, but this doesn't say anything about what you just told me. Because what I understood from here was like we had to do a scaled back plan. So I don't know, has anybody else seen the scaled back plan?
I'm sorry, there's nothing changed on the plan itself. It is how we execute the plan. Originally, when we sent out the RFP, it was for grading. And once we got out there, we realized that we shouldn't have used the word grading in there. Grading for a lot of contractors is clear cutting the entire property and then going back and redoing kind of like the surface out there. And I don't think that's what we intended to do out there. We wanted to keep as many of the trees out there that were existing as possible. And so what we're going to end up doing is there are projects like, for instance, there's mounds of dirt up against the property to IGA. There's some debris on the property. And so we're kind of break it up to kind of get all those kind of things taken care of instead of a grading project. So it's not going to be grading anymore.
Better wording would be site preparation.
Right. And so those people who had come out and were interested in the project, we told them we would be changing it so it's not a grading, and asked if they would be interested in bidding the project. And the ones that were interested, we've reached out to them to show what we're kind of planning or what we're wanting to have done out there.
So the money we spent to clear it, or what we call this grading, because I see it's kind of all going back up again, it's going to have to be respent again? That's going to...
So the town ended up spending some money on bush hogging the property and getting all the weeds cut back. But yes, it will, until we get to the point where grass is seeded out there and the property is level enough on the whole property to be able to cut it with a regular mower, we'll still have to keep on bush hogging until we get to that final stage in terms of the seeding on the property.
Are you asking about the 4,000 that you proposed?
Yes.
Because we didn't lose that. That was used to remove a lot of trees, large trees that were undesirable, so that we're not losing that work. That would have
Okay.
still had to been done, so that was like, that, I wouldn't call that brush hogging, that was some major tree
Clearing.
remove, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
So what
there
you
were some
see now-
Smaller trees that were taken down there too.
But now there's still, there's still new growth, is what I'm saying. It's coming back up. So
Right,
I'm
but it's
asking,
not,
we're gonna
it's
have
not to
do-
the grade, you could just brush hog, that's 3-4 foot high, basically weeds. A good brush hog could handle that. However, what we did earlier was larger tree and stump removal.
Right, so, but to bush hog again, we'll have to spend more money to do the same thing.
So what we're doing is we're cutting back all the weeds and everything to get down to see where all the mounds are, the holes that are out there that need to be filled in, the tree stumps that need to be removed out there, but get to a surface that makes sense for a park. Now, if you remember in one of my last reports, the town received $50,000 from Norfolk Southern to do another phase of work out there. And I've applied for an additional $50,000 through a PARD grant to do some additional work out there. But we're trying to be very sensitive in terms of the development out there to keep it natural, but also create a park feel. So, I mean, that's the word, we shouldn't have used the word grading.
But what I'm still asking, I understand all that, but what I'm still asking is, we're gonna still have to spend another, what, $3,000 or $4,000, or still spend more money to clear it out until we get to what you call down to, where we do the, I guess.
Seeding.
Seeding, yeah.
I think I can answer this.
And will it be at the expense of the town?
Well, no, it'll come out of the $50,000. The problem is the train company, Norfolk Southern, was very slow in granting our grant, so things grow. You know, we had a very wet summer, waiting on the $50,000 to show up.
So the
We
money
spent
have
$4,000.
now, we'll use that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We spent $4,000 to do major stump and tree removal. I think we're spending $1,000 to do a refresher brush hogging. So we're not going backwards. If we were, I'd be as concerned as
So
you
the 1,000
are.
is coming out of the 50?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nothing's coming from the town
All right, so
budget.
anything going forward is coming out of the grant money?
It'll be coming out of this grant and then future grant money that comes in. And Norfolk Southern has given us the impression that they would like to give us additional funds next year. So we've got $50,000 now. I feel good about the $50,000 that's going to be coming through PARD, which is the State Parks and Recreation funds, which is the same funding that the town used to replace the fishing piers. So I am not asking for the town to spend any of its own money. I don't like the idea of the town spending money on a property that we lease year to year. That's just I don't think it's fiscally responsible.
Once it's landscaped, we'll be able to use our crew to keep the grass cut.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for clearing that up, because
Sure.
that didn't really say that.
My apologies on there. If you'd like, I can change that between now and the next meeting, so it goes into the minutes that
I
it's,
think it would be just more
Sure.
clarification.
Okay, any other one, anybody want need to talk about? Do you have anything that you would like to bring up, Patrick?
other than, at the last council meeting, we discussed the chipper truck, and I'm just trying to get some more cost-appropriate options for the town, instead of the $70,000 that we talked about at the last time. So,
If you would, on your follow-up part of that, check and see what kind of lease programs are available,
okay,
if there are any available.
a lease program for the, a chipper truck.
And the chipper.
Okay.
I notice a lot of these tree companies has got some really nice equipment, and I find it hard to imagine that they just go out and spend $200,000 on a dump truck and a chipper. So there might be some lease options available. May even be some through the state programs.
Any questions? There's a lot of information under the administrator's report, so I just want to make sure that y'all have had a chance to look through that if y'all have any questions on there.
Number 4, do we have a route for that bike ride? Or
Yes, I can send you a link for that route.
Okay.
They've said in the past that they've stopped up at Brown's Chapel, bless you, but this time they're wanting to stop at the traffic circle just below Town Hall, bless you. We don't provide anything, but
Yeah, I read all that. I'm just curious what the full route through Packlet is. So we can have, if people are interested in cheering that on, they know where to be.
I'll make sure that we add this to our Facebook page as we get closer to the event, so that people know where they're coming through and where they can potentially cheer them on.
Great.
You can check with the Humane Society, and they may have an estimated time as to when they're going to arrive at this area, and plan accordingly so that they can have some people out on the route, so.
They had an estimated time when they think they're going to be coming through, and it'll be a stop and a break, and, having, waters and various things as a resting stop. But they have a link that you can go to, and it shows the entire route and elevations and everything. It's a really great interactive map that they have.
I have a question, but it's from, I think it was last month's administrative report where you were talking about the new banner was being installed on West Main Street to advertise events. And it was one on Sunny Acres. Is there one on Highway 9 coming down through town?
We've got one on, right now we have one on West Main Street in Sunny Acres.
Why is there not one on Highway 9?
We can. I would prefer that we try to keep it on Town of Packlet property if we can. So I'll have to see if we can get permission from someone to be able to put something out there. Because what we end up doing is we put something more permanent, and it's stretched out so you can see it better.
Well, there's more traffic over there for people to see it. You got the gas station and dollar store and clock and Hardee's.
I agree with you 100%. I just want to make sure that we have permission, because
Who do we have to get permission from?
the property owner who we end up putting the banner in. So as of right now, all the places that we have banners are Town of Packlet property.
I'm not understanding.
It's not West Main Sunny Acres, West Main Memorial, I think.
West Main and Memorial, that property, the town leases from Norfolk Southern. The property over here, we lease from Packlet Milliken. I'll have to get permission from a property owner to be able to put it there.
Do you have a place that you'd like to see one?
I just think it should be on Highway 9 as well through town. I mean, we got one coming down West Main Street, and we got one down here. I mean, why not? I mean, you have congregation of people over there, to me more so, because everybody comes downtown to do their business. So I think we should have one there with events as well.
Yeah, usually we had it the billboard on 9, but I think Paul Abbott has that through the election. But typically, we have the whole billboard on 9, right by Hardee's.
I don't disagree with you. I just need to make sure that we can get permission from a property owner to put it out there.
Okay. So can we look into that?
Yes.
I mean, what particular property owner would we have to get the permission from?
Wherever we end up wanting to place it.
If you've
And
got
it
a,
would-
if
it would
you've
be-
got a specific site that you would like it, ever who owns that property has to give permission. One possible location would be up where the sign is at number 9 and 176.
Okay.
That would be a good place to check. I know that Mr. McGuire owns the corner lot there, but I think the state highway probably has a right-of-way if we could put a sign there and keep it maintained as far as the grass growing up around it so they don't have to bush hog around it. That may be a really good location with a high-traffic area.
What you're probably used to is there are some people who just put signs out wherever they want to, and they may not have DOT approval.
Right.
They may not have property owner permission. It's a little bit different when it's the town doing it.
When
I
it's
want to
our
make sure
sign.
that we're doing it correctly and legally.
Right.
But putting stuff at a DOT right-of-way, when we were looking at putting in a sign up there on the corner of West Main Street and 176, we had to file an encroachment permit with DOT to be able to place that there. So,
Well, I think if we could find somewhere over on Highway 9, going into town or out of town.
If that area right there is not a good area that is feasible to do, check with Morning Star at that intersection right there near where
Right.
Teresa lives.
Yeah.
As long as we maintain the grass around it and they don't have to, that might be something that they would be open to us putting a sign up right there where the road forks.
You run it all the way across to that corner there, we know someone that lives in that corner house there.
I didn't know if you were going to offer your property for this.
There we go.
Right there at the Via's Club, people come and go there, so.
All right, anything else?
Not at this time.
Okay, move on. Do we have any, do you need to go over, we need to go over the code enforcement, building permits?
What I've
We will.
included in your packet, because you had asked before about the prices on there, and so on the front is a total of all of the permits that have been charged since CC&I began in March through today, and then it's split up on there in terms of how much CC&I gets, which is the 80%, and the town gets, which is the 20%.
And I thank you for it, and I appreciate it. However, I mean, all I asked was that they just add the column of what the permit fee was for, and the cost of the 80/20. But you took away a lot of the other stuff, and this still does not tell me what the permit was for. All it just says is residential construction, okay, plan review, yeah, I know that. A CC charge, residential construction. So it's not telling me what was done on the residential construction. Be changing out a door or a window or making some steps. That's what I asked for, and I think I was clear with that because it stated that on the last spreadsheet, but I just didn't know what the permit fee was for that. And then on this one, it's taken away and very vague.
So CC9's group has been at a conference this week. I had requested the information. That was all that I had at this time, but I'll make sure that you get the full report that you had from before, plus the fees on there as well.
Yeah, I think the spreadsheet before was good. All I had to do was just add the columns that showed what that permit was for. I changed, door, changed out window with the 80/20 added, because
There was, I've got an asterisk on the July on there, and if you look at the total on July, it doesn't match what's up there. And the reason being is there was an odd, large amount for a permit fee on there.
yes,
And I wasn't quite sure what it was, and when I went on there, the iWork system and went into the description of the project was, quote, dummy, D-U-M-M-Y, and I'm not sure if they kind of did something by mistake on there, and so I took that out. There was no property address, there was no contractor name, there was no name on on anything. All it had was a total amount, and I'm not sure if they put that in there by mistake, and so I took that out, but once I know more information on that, I'll let you all know.
Anything else on the codes and building permits?
Did we find out about, if there was a permit on changing out a door or a window, where I think we had said earlier there would be no cost for, someone changing out a window, and I think there was a charge. That's what I wanted to find out too. Having to pay a permit to change out a door or a window.
Let me, there shouldn't be. I apologize. I'll get that, I'll find out about that, and I'll email you as soon as I find out.
Okay.
Well, let me just ask something else too. So how is, like even me, if I wanted to do something, how am I gonna know what that permit fee, do I need a permit fee or not, unless I come down here to ask? Is there not somewhere where a citizen or a resident can go on and look to see if that is a permit? Where is that at?
So if you go to our website, just as it always been on there, there's a section on there for building permits, and you click on that, and it goes to CC&I's webpage, and they work with multiple towns, and you can go on there and you can find the paper application, so you can see the fee schedules that are on there, and then you can also click into their system to start the process to do a permit on there. And you can call them at any
No,
time.
I've seen that and I've done that, but I'm just asking, is there not where you can go there without having to go through the actual filling out of a permit before you find out, what that permit costs, or if there's a permit fee for it at all?
Well, that's what I mean. There's a paper application, and you can look on there and say, this is how much your cost is, and you can calculate on there how much your permit should be.
So it tells you, so if I go on there now, if there's a permit fee for a door, it'll say changing out a door and how much that costs?
Their fees are based off of the value of the project that needs to be done. In terms of, is there a list of every single potential project that requires a permit? No. There is a sheet that we can provide, if they don't already have it on there, that has, this is what doesn't require a permit.
Well, I think there needs to be something that clarifies whether or not I think I need a permit or not.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If it's less than $1,000 and it's not structure relative, such as a floor or something like that, or supporting a ceiling, if it's less than $1,000, as my understanding is, a permit's not required. You hear about changing out a door, changing out a window. If you're going to change out a window for $500, if I'm not mistaken, a permit's not required.
The $1,000 was on the old fee schedule. That is not the case anymore. Most cosmetic work does not require a permit. Part of the reason that they end up going to the location to fill it out is they start with doing one thing and then it leads into a few other things that are on there. So it's one of the best things to do is just reach out to them and, tell them, explain to what you're wanting to do.
In a lot of cases, your permit fee is based on the amount of money that's going to be spent for the repair also, right?
And it's usually under, I believe it's like anything that's under like $2,000, I think it's around $32.
So there still would be a fee if I just want to change a window or the door, which is what I think we just spoke about before, that we weren't going to have, that we weren't going to do, or ask our citizens to have to pay a fee for that.
I mean, you still want to make, and I have to, I'm not a building inspector, so I can't tell you, but, I mean, everything still needs to be done to make sure that it's safely done, and it's done appropriately on there. Let me check with them and see if replacing a door or a window will require a permit.
Well, I know it's something we had discussed even last year, that we wouldn't require that.
I asked for a limit at one point. It turns out it was with RCI. It never carried over. I think the limit was 500. I don't remember 1,000, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was 1,000. It would have been nice if that was addressed with the new contract, but it was not.
The whole point of permitting is not for the town to make money off this, is to verify that things are being done safely and they're done to code, so that, the next person that ends up being in that house, or the window doesn't fall out, or, it doesn't break because it wasn't put in the right way.
Well, I'm just going to say, if it's not for the town to make money, then why didn't we just go back with Spartanburg County like everybody wanted? Because we seem to be having the same trouble with CCI as we did with RCI. Nothing's really changed.
It's the same cost, whether the contractor is paying the county or paying the town.
We already pay taxes to Spartanburg County for that anyway.
But you still have to pay for the permit when you go there.
We have this agenda item on later in the
Yeah,
agenda.
we got an
Do you wanna
agenda
just
item on that.
Save
Later
it,
on.
save it till we get to that? Just a suggestion.
We'll discuss that on down. Okay. All right. Do you have any boards or commissions or committees reports?
None.
Okay. Unfinished business, consider update town faculty employee handbook.
Did we table this, or did we need a second reading? Is it what?
The reason we
remember.
stopped on there was an issue with the per diem, which has been updated since the last time we met.
Did you add a per diem?
No,
Sir?
I didn't
Did
still
you
see
add
one
it?
on there.
Yes, I ended up adding, it was the $50.
I actually wish we hadn't added it, but I should have spoke up at the last meeting. You were trying to save the town some money, and I don't think that communication was getting across to those on council that had that question.
Well, no, and I actually appreciate the comment that I think Ms. Sexton and Mr. Wright were making on there, is that, before it was a reimbursement, as long as they're, doing work that benefits the town, but it didn't have a max amount on there, and it was up to the administrator's discretion on there, and I think Ms. Sexton wanted it to be more finite, and so it has been updated to be that it's $50 maximum per day.
Well, I think the clarification
That's
was
not-
needed instead of being up
It's not per
to,
diem, though.
whether you thought, $40 or 75 or 50 from, this person to the next person.
No, I
mean, that sets the boundaries and
completely appreciate it, yeah.
clarifies. Another thing with the employee handbook, and I don't know if everybody looked at it, but I know you had stated, the memo here, the differences between the old handbook and the new. And there are a lot more changes in the new handbook as opposed to the old one. There's a lot of stuff that was changed out, reworded, moved from the front to the back. I think we still need to work on this. I looked on the Municipal Association of South Carolina's employee handbook and looked at what they suggest, and there's stuff that we took out of ours that really should be put back in there. There's disclaimer pages that aren't in here that should be in here according to state law. So I think we need to go back to the table on this.
What was taken out? Because it's actually longer than the previous one.
Okay. Well, first of all, on the first 2 pages, you have to have the disclaimer in all caps and underlined. And that's not there. And then in the disclaimer that is there, I mean, that should be in all caps and underlined. Let me find mine. Just a minute.
So the fact that it's not in all caps, that's the issue?
No, not as it's supposed to be according to the Municipal Association of South Carolina. Okay, so here it says, this is the minimum risk, the handbook employee, I can give it to you when I get through. Says that as far as the disclaimer needs to be underlined and in all capital letters on the first page of the document and signed by the employee. And that's not on this one here. Just in number, and it has to be number 1. And then,
So, I mean, we've got it on there. What's the, maybe I'm not understanding. I mean, we can put it in all caps and underline it if that's what
yeah,
needs.
because, I mean, if you go on the Municipal Association of South Carolina and look at their model employee handbook of
Okay.
what they suggest the municipalities have for the employee handbook, I mean, you can, change the wording and stuff. But they pretty much give you a complete guideline and tell you why you need to have this in the handbook. Did you refer to it in any way when you was?
I took your previous handbook and updated it and added stuff to it.
Yeah, but a lot of stuff was taken out. I mean, just like your sexual harassment, 2.1.3, it's, you took that out.
The sexual harassment's still in there.
As far as the Medical Association of South Carolina, it says that the sexual harassment wants special mention. And they give all this that should be in the handbook. And you've got it, as far as sexual harassment goes, 4 lines.
So you want it to be longer?
No, I don't want it to be longer. I don't know why we took it out. There was no reason that we should have taken it out of the old employee handbook to begin with. I don't understand why it was taken out.
It's not, here it is in this one.
Was that section in the old one? Those 2 pages are-
1.3.
No, the 2-page long version she showed, did we cut it down from the old?
This is in the old one. This is what you have in the new one. The equal opportunity statement, the words for employment was taken out. The words for or town council was taken out. The complaint and procedure and investigation that was on page 5 is now way in the back of this one, which it should follow the sexual harassment section.
I mean, the complaint section is a complaint about anything that's in the
Yeah,
whole.
but it pretty much talks about the supervisor, manager, anything that is violated, violated by anyone who you come in contact with on the job, regardless of fellow workers, supervisors, harassment allegations and all that, it just follows up right behind the sexual harassment. And that's how it's always been. Why was it moved to the back anyway?
I mean, it wasn't moved for any other, I mean, it was to reorganize, but to add, I mean, there wasn't really reason for it.
But, so that's what I'm trying to understand. There wasn't any reason for it. Why was it moved? Why is it like at the very next 2 pages to the...
Because complaint isn't just about sexual
Page
harassment.
35 of 38.
Because complaint's not just about sexual harassment. There's a lot of potential areas that anybody could complain about that it's not just dedicated to
Then we could have just
that.
revised it and then left it where it was at. I mean, there was a lot of moving around, taking out, adding to. And plus too, it is suggested by the Association of South Carolina that we have a labor attorney look it over as well, and I think that needs to be done too.
Okay. Was there a labor attorney who looked over it the last time y'all did this?
I don't know, but that's what they suggest that we do. Like every 5 years, you need to take a look at your handbook and see if there's any revisions that you need to do and have a labor attorney look it over to make sure that you concur with state and federal laws. Now, I know this needed to be revised as far as some things that have come up, you know, as far as like gender and stuff like that. But yes, you know, handbooks aren't just something you can go in there and change around and take words out and put this there and put that there. They're very important. You know, and sometimes it matters if your word is and or if or of, you know. And I think that in this one, it takes out a lot of the clarification that was in the old one. I just think it needs more work. There's stuff taken out that shouldn't have been taken out.
Okay.
Can you just leave those specific notes you have with Mr. K? So he knows exactly what you're looking for?
Well, I'm still going through it.
Do you mind sending me your notes between now and the next meeting so I can get that updated and then sent out to a labor attorney?
Yes. Because I think it needs to be looked over by a labor attorney.
Okay.
And not only that, Teresa, you keep saying suggest. My thing is suggest and require is 2 different things.
Correct.
Is it just a suggestion?
Correct.
Or is it required?
No, the municipal association, you know, puts out, you know, their suggestions that you can do, but you don't have to follow
Well,
that.
they just say, as a best practice, best management practice, municipalities should have a labor attorney review the municipality's employee handbook at least every 5 years to ensure it complies with state, local, and federal regulations, laws and constitutional provisions, because we aren't all schooled in that.
I have a question. Tony, you've been here long enough. The last time when the handbook was done was a labor attorney. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, are you gonna get him your points of interest there and get it to Patrick, and then we'll get that taken care of before next month? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, new business. Consider amendment to ordinance section 2-58 of Article 3, meeting of mayor and council and in the code of ordinance of the town of Packlet relating to appearance of citizens.
This is something that me and Patrick discussed and worked on And when I say work done, I mean Patrick basically did all the work. But I asked him to update our ordinance to address what Ms. Quinn mentioned and clarify it, and I agree with her. We do need to add who can speak at our meetings. She made a great point, which is addressed in here about business owners, property owners. So we're going to expand that, or hope to.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, like, exactly what, just because you may not live in the, I mean, if Packlet Milliken came here, Packlet Milliken owns 10% of your town, and if they wanted to speak at a public hearing,
They should be able to.
I think they should be able to speak. Just like Riverbend, their expansion added, I think, 20% onto the town of Packlet, that if they wanted to speak, it makes sense for them to speak. Now, one thing that we did kind of clarify on there is not everybody who pays taxes would be able to speak, and the reason for that is you pay hospitality tax to the town of Packlet when you go to a restaurant. So technically, you're paying tax to the town. So we've limited it to, if you've got a business license, you've got a property that you own, or that you're a resident in the town. And then anybody who represents, so like, for instance, Jennifer Calabria from Packlet Milliken, owners of Packlet Milliken may not be the ones who are going to come here and speak, but a representative of that company would come out and speak, as long as they designate themselves as that representative prior to giving their comments. That's how y'all would end up knowing who they represent with their comments.
This requires 2 readings, correct?
Sir?
This requires 2 readings?
Requires 2 readings.
It just, usually it says first reading. Motion to approve on first reading amendment to ordinance section 2-58 of Article 3.
Any questions? Need a second?
Explain
Need a
that to me,
second?
explain that to me one more time.
So after you pass this, anybody who owns property in the town, anybody who has a up-to-date business license with the town of Packlet, and anybody who is a resident of the town, all can speak during the citizens' comment section.
Well, according to South Carolina code, even if we had an ordinance or not, she still would have been allowed to speak. That is South Carolina Code 6-29-760B requires that if a planning commission allows oral written comments from a landowner on a proposed zoning ordinance amendment, it must,
That's under the public comment section for a rezoning.
yeah, and that's what we were doing.
No, and when the town did a public comment section that was at the planning commission meeting prior to council, this is just citizens' comments, which is different than public hearing for a rezoning.
Right, but what I'm saying is that she had a right to speak because if the commission and I know this says to the commission, but if the commission allows a landowner to provide feedback on the proposed change, which is what he was, other members of the public and adjoining party owners must also be given a chance to comment as well. And I know that is to the commission, to the planning commission. But also, if he's going to stand here and tell us the same thing, she should have every right to speak with us as well, to have her say as well, if it's allowed for him as well.
At the public hearing that was, yes.
So
And that's what she-
by the South Carolina code, she's allowed that.
This is not a public hearing.
Under the public hearing, correct.
This is a regular council meeting, not a public hearing.
The what?
This is just a regular council meeting. It's not a public hearing for rezoning. You're right, for
We're not the
rezoning,
zoning-
public hearing.
We're not the zoning board, and it's not a zone hearing.
This is a moot point, because we're just going to pass this and then it'll be fixed, right?
Well, but
This,
it was for the same thing as what I'm saying, though.
That particular section
She's
is,
a landowner.
that particular
That's what
section
we cleared
is,
up. That's what this cleared up. This is what this cleared up right here. He's right.
Yeah, this fixes that
Yeah.
issue, but this fixes it so she could, or anyone that
Any
qualifies
business owner or.
can speak at any council
Yeah.
meeting, not at just a
Yeah.
public, not just a hearing.
Yeah. So that's what's cleared that up.
Okay.
now what's a little bit different is the person has property that adjoins that property, and some of it's not in the town. There are properties that adjoin this property that are not in the town at all. And during the public hearing section, they would be able to come and speak at a council meeting.
Okay.
Need a second.
You have a motion? What's your motion again? Repeat it, please.
Approve on first reading amendment to ordinance section 2-58 of Article 3.
Do you have a motion for the first reading of, to amend the ordinance, the Town of Packlet, section 2-58 of Article 3?
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor? All opposed? Okay? Okay, moving on, let's consider the amendment, the flood damage prevention ordinance.
Bless you. After y'all passed this on June 26th, I submitted it out to DNR, and there were some dates on there that they wanted to have changed, that I have since then changed those dates that are on there. It reflects when the ordinance was originally passed, that the town passed back in, I believe it was in 1978, that needed to be corrected on there, and that has been corrected for this. So this is amending what you had previously passed on June 26th, correction for the dates.
Has DNR reviewed this and they're satisfied with it?
DNR, they have sent me the dates. I've updated the dates based on their information. Before you go to a second reading, I will be sending this to them to verify before your second reading.
I make a motion that we approve the first reading, pending the outcome of DNR's approval.
To the flood damage prevention ordinance?
Yes.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions? All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Consider discussion regarding the contract with CC&I for code enforcement and building inspections.
I asked this to be added to try to clear up some of the issues we're having. Looks like there's a letter included here. Is this,
That letter came in today from Mr. Willis to address the concerns that were being had.
right, so I got kind of pulled into a conversation, an email thread the other day, which I thought was very unclear, and I'll explain why. CC&I has clearly had a lot of complaints. I've had my own issues with my own permits with them, which I just let go. However, I asked Mr. K to have a conversation with them, and I didn't specify what how that conversation would go, but I thought it was assumed that the conversation would go something like, we need to do everything legally possible to make building hassle-free easy, and cheap for our residents. I didn't specify that. I don't know if that conversation was had or if someone ignored the conversation, but the original response, which is different from this letter actually quotes excerpts of code. The original response, which was to Mr. Wright, had a citation for section 106. This is section 1603. These were the complaints I'm having, is that we've hired experts on the code. Why are they not helping us figure out what's going on here? I've been defending CC&I because CC&I is actually provides building permitting cheaper than the county, 20% cheaper. We charge the same as the county to keep things simple, but we get a free service along with that. That costs 20% of that fee. And that service, I'm going to call ordinance enforcement, because usually we call it code enforcement, and lay people or people that are kind of watching this as pedestrians assume code enforcement means building code. It does not. It means ordinance enforcement. That's the more important service that CC&I provides, and they provide it. And the county does not provide this service. It never has and never will. County will never come to Packlet and enforce our ordinances. When I mean our ordinances, I mean whether you have a car on blocks in your front yard or high grass, those ordinances. CC&I provides that service for free with the same fee schedule as the county. I was hoping that we were going to build this beautiful, thriving town and people would want to move here, and we would have a private service that would prevent the quality of building we see in the county, but apparently the town's not interested in that. Seems like that may not be happening. I don't see the need for CC&I services considering the headaches. What I'm not going to do is grandstand every meeting and try to, hard sell it to the rest of council. I'm going to state this, and if I'm the only one, then we can let it go, or we can table it and make sure that conversation is had with CC&I. One of the specifics in section 106 that they cited was the ability for the building official to waive these construction documents. That was the issue, the most recent issue that came up. Additional construction documents required for a very simple shed that the property owner, the builder of the shed didn't believe they should need. It cost them additional money. According to this letter that I guess we got today, it says that these documents are super important. My understanding is this shed was a standard kit building, 240 square feet. Thousands of these are built every day, all over the country. They use the same parts, the same pieces, just configured differently. Why special engineering documents or additional engineering documents would be required for that it is a problem for me. If they're stating that's absolutely required by law, well, CC&I's hands are tied, but section 106 says the building official, let me pull it up. It took me a while to find this because they didn't offer it up front. They just cited it, almost as if they were not trying to be fully helpful and transparent. The building official is authorized to waive the submission of construction documents and other data not required to be prepared by a registered design professional if it is found that the nature of the work applied for is such that reviewing of construction documents is not necessary to obtain compliance with this code. To me, as a layperson, a 240 square foot shed would fall into that. However, this letter, which we just received, says all this engineering is necessary.
I appreciate the discussion, but I think, if we're gonna have a discussion, and even with the letter we got here, I think, Mr. Willis should be in here so he can answer some questions for us too. Not only just through a letter, I think he should, be here to, if we question him, why this and why that he'll have an opportunity to reply, and see what he can, accomplish there.
Yeah, I generally agree. It seems odd that he's not here and the timing of it all, and the fact that we're coming to the end of this year, this election year, and I guess I can only speculate there. But I will say my own personal experience is that CC&I is willing to enforce regulations that are not specifically in code. They did it with me. I just sucked it up. It cost my new tenant $1,600 a year for this regulation that our previous inspector, RCI, said would not be required. And because I'm a councilman and I'm already accused of never getting permits and not following the rules and not paying the fees, I just said, okay, we're gonna take the hit. That was a couple months ago, but now this, and there's needs to be an end to this. It seems like we hopped out of the frying pan into the fire. I've had several contractors asking if we can get RCI back. And unfortunately, they're not going to come back because of the way they were treated by several council members for 2 years, at least not now. I don't want to be that guy that's constantly berating our contractors. However, this is a problem. I'd love to hear from Mr. Brackens, Ms. Green. If I'm alone on this, then, we'll let it go.
Well, I think the town of Packard was doing fine with Spartanburg County doing our permit fees. And we had hired at that time, I think it was Chris Harper it was. And he went through the schooling, and he was going to do our code enforcement alone. Spartanburg County was just going to continue doing permit fees and stuff. Then, of course, he got another job and moved on, and that's when the RCI thing all started. And I think Jason had asked Chief Halls, whenever we had interviewed him, if he had a problem with using any of his officers for code enforcement, and he said he did not.
He did.
So I don't see why we can't either hire someone and have them do the code enforcement like we had previously done. He went to school and was certified for it, and then let Spartanburg County do
With
our
CC&I.
permit fees.
He went to school with CC&I.
Who was that?
Park.
Yeah, let's clarify though, it's different. He's doing ordinance enforcement.
Yeah,
He's
he would
not,
just be
yeah,
doing code
right.
enforcement, not permit.
Right, and he did his training at CC&I. They're very trained in this, they're experts, they're very thorough, no one's questioning that. It's exactly 3 years, actually, since Mr. Wright made the motion to switch it to private. It was September 2022. That was my first meeting, actually. I didn't even know about the discussion. I did vote for it because no one said anything against it. And I said, oh, okay, private company, that sounds fine.
Well, we
So
all thought it was going to be something different than what it was.
Well, okay, we got a contract with him, why don't we just, bring him in and talk to him? That's what I'm talking about.
Is he going to be available at the next meeting? Or we're changing the meeting?
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
he was on
Dates?
vacation. I mean, he didn't call us up and ask us what our agenda was. I mean, we didn't call him up and ask him what we'd planned to
No, right.
talk about. I mean, we need to give him a chance, I believe. I mean, we got him under contract. Bring him in and let's talk to him.
I agree. And like I said in the last meeting, I don't prefer to do things this way. A lot of this could have been handled through email, but after 10, 12 emails between me and Mr. K And then eventually those were handed off to Mr. Willis. I still didn't have answers. So he was asked the questions from Councilman Wright. He gave answers that really didn't seem to clarify anything to me. You know, I was frustrated. And I asked Mr. K if I could get an excerpt of the actual law. I guess he thought I needed it that moment, but I need it at some point. And Mr. Willis should be able to just, in seconds, provide that. But that didn't happen, so we're doing it here in the meeting.
All right, I got a question. In the spring of the year, we signed a contract with CCI, correct?
Correct.
Okay. That contract lasts for?
It's a 3-year contract.
3-year contract. Okay.
I thought we did.
I firmly believe in honoring contracts. Okay. But I also firmly believe that CCI works for the town of Packlet.
Yes, sir.
And CCI should have the town of Packlet's best interest at heart.
Yes, sir.
If they're enforcing something that we don't agree with, we need to address it
Absolutely.
with Mr. Willis, who is the CCI representative. Okay. I'm not going to sit here tonight and vote to dishonor our contract, which we signed, but I will suggest that we have a meeting, whether it be Mr. Williams and Mr. Kay and Mr. Canby, or whoever, or him come into the next town council meeting and have a discussion with all of us. But we need to clarify if we have issues with them and let them know that we have issues. They work for us, and we don't want to do things to counteract the benefits. So I think at this time, I'm going to make a motion that where it says consider regarding contract with CCI, I'm going to say that we table this issue until we're able to sit down and discuss the issues with Mr. Willis, who is the representative of CCI.
I just want to clarify, I'm not suggesting we break the contract. In the contract, there's provisions for a 30-day, I think it's 30-day notice, I could be wrong. On both sides, they could cancel, we could cancel. It's not, I would never say let's not honor the contract. And I'm not trying to push for a vote at this moment.
If we reach
So-
an impasse with CCI and we can't come to a mutual agreement, then that's something we may have to discuss at a later time, but I think,
The other thing too is to your comments of Packlet's best interest. I recognize CC&I's hands are tied. They have to follow the law. And Packlet has adopted laws passed by the state of South Carolina that if we want them to not enforce certain things, we have to change the law first. We can't just tell them to overlook it.
Right.
I understand that. It's where they're going beyond the law. They're using expert opinion that's not, and they admitted this to me at length. I went back and forth with them. They said, well, the expert opinion is, I don't care. It's not the law. So we should be following the law, especially when it harms new businesses and residences. The expert opinion is great, but it's an opinion. So CC&I does have to follow the law. We can't just say, hey, lighten up. But they should be trying to find every opportunity to be more lenient, and I don't think they're doing that.
yeah, I think it's a discussion we need to sit down and have with
Yeah.
Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Okay, got a motion to do that. You need a second?
We could just pass over it, but
You say,
we could just pass over it, I think, but do you want to vote on it?
we don't have to have a motion, we just pass over it and just have it for next month or whatever,
that'll be fine. Table it until then.
okay? All right. Next, number D there, consider the request to change the date of the October and November council meeting. Patrick, you have a question on that?
Yes, I put this in there as a request. There is a training course that I've been wanting to take for a very long time, and it's highly recommended by both Municipal Association and ACOG for both county and city administrators. That's going to be offered over the course of the next several months, and the first 2 meetings are right during the middle of what our council is. And so I'm requesting that if you don't mind to push the council meetings forward a week for the October and November council meetings.
What dates?
What dates?
It should be included in there.
It was October 9th and November 13th.
Oh, did I miss that?
October 2nd will be changed to October 9th. November 6th will be changed to November 13th.
Give that again.
The
very
2nd
last
will be
page.
moved to the the 2nd, October 2nd will be changed to October 9th, and October 6th changed to November 13th. That's only if y'all approve this.
All right, I got a couple questions and a comment. First off, I made my schedule around those particular dates that was already set.
Yes, sir.
Now, I made a mistake last month and overbooked and wasn't able to attend. I do know that I already have a commitment for that date in October,
Okay.
so that wouldn't be good for me.
It doesn't, I mean,
guess-
Can we
I
do
guess
a
on the
Tuesday?
part of
Does it
the
have to be a
discussion
Thursday?
Is,
Does it have to be a Thursday?
if something were to happen to you physically, that you weren't able to attend, who would your backup be?
I'm guessing it'd be the town clerk.
That's something that we need to, have in place, because it's important. You
it'd
never
be
know
me.
when you're going to be hospitalized,
So is it necessary?
or when you're going to be sick,
Is it necessary?
or anything like that. So that's something that we need to look at, is we need a backup for the administrator.
Well,
So if for some reason he can't be here.
he would probably add it on to me. Yeah, the mayor.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
No, that's something that we need to consider.
But that's-
I never thought of it until this arose.
Do you
Technically,
really,
the
do you
mayor's actually
really,
right. This is your council meeting, and y'all can have it whenever you want to. I don't have to be here. I think it's strongly encouraged in my contract to be here for every council meeting.
And I would agree to that. It is strongly encouraged. But you also need a backup.
do you want the day off? Do you want a day off, a meeting off, or two? Can you leave your comments and take it easy?
I mean, that's up to y'all.
we've had meetings
That's-
without the town administrator present.
Right.
Since I've been on here. So,
I have no problem
is
with
it
the new dates. I
necessary
mean,
absolutely necessary that Patrick has to be here? Can we not carry on the meeting without him being present? I mean,
So
well, I like that you live stream and
can,
you
we
do all
have-
that technical stuff. I think that's important to
yeah, I
anyone
wouldn't be
else.
able to do that.
No one else is first in our videography.
The conference that I'm taking is down in Lake City, and so what'll end up happening is, if you don't change the dates, I'll leave early from Lake City, drive up here for the council meeting, and then as soon as the council meeting's over with, we'll drive back down to Lake City.
why? That's what I'm
You're looking at a
asking. You don't
2-hour
have to be
drive.
Oh, I
present.
know, that's the request for the change. Now, if there's another date that works better for y'all,
I have no problem changing the date, but going forward, we need to look at ensuring that you have a backup.
I haven't missed a
You just
meeting
love
in
us
3
so
years.
much you want to be here? I mean,
I have no problems changing the date, it's just that the thought occurred to me, what if Patrick Kay had to have surgery? What if Patrick Kay was in an automobile accident?
Then
It would fall back on me, though. I mean, it'd fall back on the mayor. I mean, we've done it before without a administrator.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when Ms. Gant left and before Mr. Eubanks came on, there must have been at least 1 or 2 council meetings. And I don't have to be here. You're the ones who are voting.
I'd be less worried about the meetings and about 90% of the work in town screeching to a halt, honestly. Can we switch it to a Tuesday in October and stick with a Thursday in November? Does that work for you?
Would that interfere with, when does the class start
If you went and you did it that Tuesday,
instead of Thursday?
that would be fine, I believe.
October 7th and November 13th?
November what?
13th?
Is it just the October that you're,
The only one I have an issue with that I wouldn't be able to attend would be the one in October.
Yeah.
That I know of.
Leave-
But if you
leave
want to change
November.
them to Tuesday, either Tuesday of the original week or Tuesday of the following week. That should work for me, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay, let's get those dates
Set in
together
stone.
here now. Y'all throwing around dates everywhere.
Is that cool too?
Oh, I don't care. I'll be here.
October the 7th.
October 7th would be fine.
All right, how about November? What do we,
13th.
13th?
Yeah, November 13th is what I'd requested before. So all we're going to do is, if y'all want to make an amendment to the meeting date change, instead of the 9th, it would be the 7th. Wait a second. Tuesdays, at least, I mean, I've got class on Tuesday nights.
All right, so
I can miss a class.
okay. So it's October the 7th and November the 13th. Is that correct, everybody?
Right.
Fine with me.
Okay, any
Yeah,
any
motion.
problems with that now?
You good with that, Mr. Kay?
Yes, I'll just have one class I won't be, because I'm working on my master's degree right now.
I understand.
Okay. All right, okay, we need to vote on it or anything?
Motion and a second.
Yeah, do you want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we change it to October the 7th and November the 13th for the next two council meetings.
Second.
Okay, second, I made a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor? All opposed?
We need to
Okay.
make sure we let Mr. Wright and Ms. Sims know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, we need in public too.
Yeah, put it on our website.
We had a section as part of there, we would update it on the town's website, the town's bulletin, the Facebook page, and we'll also notify the council members who couldn't be here tonight, but we'll go ahead and start publicizing that's the new dates.
Also, since that's a change, we need to notify the police chief and CCI, and let CCI know we would really greatly appreciate them being in attendance.
All right, is that it? April, you have anything?
No, sir.
Tom, you know?
I'm going to say no.
What?
No.
Okay.
I was thinking about it, but no.
Tracy, you have anything? Okay, I'd like to remind everybody that October's coming up soon. The River Fest is be in October, so we need to be preparing for that. Thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I'll
Motion to adjourn.
motion to dismiss.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?